So what's going on, Mr. Will Stewart?
Wow. First of all, I'd like to thank you for having us on the show.
Well, thank you for coming.
Myself with my public relations director and sales manager, Mr. Jeff Tharp.
How you doing, Mr. Jeff?
Doing real good.
I'm glad to have you.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, life is great. God is good, and before my vision came about with the publication, I did a lot of street playing. And that devil was busy with me. Mm-hmm. He was busy in my life, Yeah. My father told me one day, he said, son, if you put your negative energy into something positive, he said, you will be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't have a step of where I wanted to go, but, God envisioned this publication in my life. With the help, and I'm going to give also credit to a young lady in Columbus, Ohio, by the name of Sharon Gordon, which we had, I went on as a partner with her with a publication called Urban Trendsetters, and that was really my first step into print media. It was very successful. It was a rough start. That publication is doing very well in Ohio. What I decided to do in 2006, I decided to, step away from the devil's path, and I came here to Atlanta, did some canvassing, and I said, you know what, this will be a phenomenal place for a positive publication because.
Well, tell me some of the things that the enemy was trying to lead you down, so we can motivate young men that's going down those paths that know that they can turn it around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because your publication is awesome. Yeah. It's an awesome publication, but they need to know some of the things that, that you came out of, like myself. I came out of drug addiction. Mm-hmm. Nobody would ever know that I had that ailment. It was an ailment, but God overcame. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew it was in me.
Yeah.
Just like we were all doing all our thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we knew it was something even better in us. But we had to go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. With myself, it was a lot of drinking, a lot of partying.
Right.
Being a part of the nightclub scene, being a club owner.
Right.
Girls, women,
right.
just nonstop, 7 days a week, and the thing that really prompted me to make a decision, it was my circle. Mm-hmm. It was a circle that was in. It was filled with devilness.
Right.
And myself playing the devil's game as well, and not being able to see from the outside in. Mm-hmm. And it took me to actually step away to see that, wow, what the things that I was doing was terrible.
Right.
And I didn't care. I didn't care who got hurt. It didn't matter to me because I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing the pressures and the negativity that I was inflicting on people, outside that were following me because I had followers.
Yeah, we all do, especially when we're great leaders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a lot of followers, and it was more, the young steer would follow me, and they would follow me into the life of destruction as well.
So what kind of turned it around? What was that breaking point that you were like, you know what, I'm better than this? You know what I'm saying? God has much more for me than this.
Yeah, mainly.
What was that breaking point?
Well, mainly it was my family. It was pretty much my family. They were, and I come from a very close-knit family. And I seen a lot of shame on the faces of my mother, father, and my sisters. Not so much my brothers. Because they wanted to be like the big brother.
I know, right?
Yeah. But it was just a lot of negativity that was going on in my life. That was a major reflection not only on myself but my family. And so, when I ventured to Atlanta and I saw that the individuals that I was meeting here was doing something totally different. I wasn't used to it.
Right.
And so I let that rub off on me.
That's
and that energy and that the secret, the law of attraction.
All right.
And I started seeing that the people around me were making money legally. And I said, wow, this is me. This is what I want to do. I can make a living,
and still be you.
And be me.
Still be you. Still, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got a little hustle in us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But however, you can still do it in a better way.
Right.
I was in a computer store, and yesterday, a gentleman, he was like, I write music, and I've been in there several times and hearing him tell his story of how he got from trying to go into the secular music industry. And I said, you know what? Why don't you just try God? It's a lot of good gospel hip hop groups that you have a lot of good music for. Nah, I'm just coming at him. I said, just try him one time. And I said, as a matter of fact, when you try him, all that you make over than what you make right now, write that check to your sister. You know what I'm saying? Since you don't believe me, that he works. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I was hustling, you know, making my money, selling double ups and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, been
but
there.
I had to wake up. I knew I was better than that. You know what I'm saying? So coming and better and a trendsetter to a trendsetter. You know, that's how we get this wonderful magazine, and that's how Mr. Jeff Thorpe step into the conversation.
Yes, it's been a very major blessing for me. I've known Willie Stewart throughout my high school years, and it was funny. I was sitting at home praying one day because I was going through my transition. I had got laid off of my job, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my family, and I was sitting there praying because the devil, he can come in and he'll hold that fear against you. I've always been a fearful person, and I was always not comfortable in a lot of things that I did, and I prayed about it, and I woke up, I prayed about it, and I woke up one morning, and I thought about Willie Stewart. I ain't seen him in over 25 years.
Wow.
And I said, wow, I wonder what's going on with Willie Stewart. And he ended up calling me 6 months after I thought him up. And we sat there and we talked and we laughed, and it was a good thing that I found him. And so we got together, and he's a great visionary. He came to my house, we sat down, we talked, we laughed, we talked about good times. He showed me the magazine, and it was just a great magazine. It was very informative, it was very positive. Every article that was wrote was positive, and it was catered to somebody's life.
Amen.
And that's what I really enjoyed about the magazine. I mean, it talked about how you can overcome people that overcome breast cancer, people that was in the education doing well for themselves. So this magazine is a great, phenomenal magazine for all of the world to see. And I appreciate the fact that Willie Stewart made contact with me, and he shared his vision with me. I sat down, I prayed about it. I said, well, God, I got to come out of my comfort zone. You got to help me, because I can't. I'm a natural man, and God does.
Thinking outside the box is just, you know what I'm saying? It takes you there, right?
It takes me there. So God spoke to me, and he said, wow, I'm going to do some supernatural things for you. I said, well, Lord, if this is for you, if this is where you want me, show me. And he showed me. And I'm here today because of this blessing and this wonderful man that I've known over 25 years.
That's awesome. That's what it's about. You know, I talk about it a lot on the show, that crab mentality where people just try to keep holding you down.
Pull you
and
down.
It's awesome when you have a great team. They're all trying to push you up and out, because they know you get out, you pulling them on out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So tell us about your magazine, how you came about Trendsetter to Trendsetter. What is Trendsetter to you? Tell me some things. Well,
basically, what I wanted to do is, in the publication, I wanted to be different. First of all, I wanted, you know, when you say trendsetter, you are setting trends. And so, since I was thinking on the lines, well, we're going to have a print publication, we have to be the trendsetter in the industry. And so I fumbled around with several different names, and then Trendsetter to Trendsetter just came to mind. And I said, wow, Trendsetter to Trendsetter. And what I was experiencing in my negative life, we weren't setting trends. That wasn't even a part of our pronunciation. But at the same time, when I got to Atlanta, and even a little prior before I got to Atlanta, I decided, I said, you know what? I said, I need to build relationships with individuals that are out there moving and shaking. And so that's why I came up with the name Trendsetter to Trendsetter, and with our logo, the handshake. Because that's how you build relationships, with a strong handshake and eye-to-eye contact. So I put a template together. I came here to Atlanta. I canvassed 2006, August 2006.